The Hanford nuclear facility in Washington state played a key role in the Manhattan Project. Hanford provided the plutonium that was used in the first atom bombs that were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki that ended World War II. The Hanford facility has a history of problems, and those problems include leaking radioactive waste. Just recently it came out that up to 3,500 gallons of nuclear waste leaked at this facility over the weekend on Sunday. This is a look at one of the storage tanks there for this waste. It's a two-stage storage system. In other words, there's an inner tank and then an outer tank. Now, this leak is nothing new. This leak was first spotted 5 years ago, and it was sat on for a year before it was announced. Now, back then, during the initial leak, it was considered to be a small leak. Now it appears that the crack and the leak is much bigger and much worse. And 8 inches of radioactive waste has come out of the inner shell and is now in the outer shell portion of this storage tank. Now, this was caused by government efforts to remove some of the waste. The change in the pressure is what's believed to have furthered the damage. This is an actual look of the crack inside of the tank. That's the inner shell there. You can see there's the crack. Now, that white powder is dried up radioactive waste, highly radioactive. Some more images from inside of the tank here. Now, a former employee of the Hanford facility has stated that this is catastrophic and is probably the biggest event to ever happen in tank farm history, because the double shell tanks are supposed to be the savior of all saviors. And now this highly contaminated radioactive waste is one stage closer to reaching the Columbia River. Now, that red pin on your screen represents the location of this Hanford nuclear facility. And as you can see, it sits right on the Columbia River. Taking a look at the Hanford.gov website, they clearly state that the Columbia River is at risk. Now, the Columbia River flows for 50 miles past 9 full-scale nuclear reactors and hundreds of liquid waste burial sites. Contaminants entering the river along the shore was measured at levels 1,500 times the drinking water standards. So you can see the close proximity to the river there, and this is not uncommon for nuclear facilities. Currently, 53 million gallons of nuclear waste remain at this facility, and 35 million of those gallons remain in those single shell tanks. They do not have that extra barrier of protection, and already over 200 square miles of contaminated groundwater is in this area. Now, if you follow the Columbia River, as you can see, it goes right down through Richland, through Kennewick, and it continues all the way to Portland, Oregon. So this is obviously a major populated area with a lot of people living all the way, and then it just dumps out into the Pacific Ocean. Now, this is some extremely disturbing information. Back in 2011, Associated Press conducted an investigation that found 75% of the U.S. nuclear facilities are leaking. So rather than try to fix the failing infrastructure of these facilities, they just let them continue to rot away, and then they turn them into some type of an amusement park. As you can see here, Reactor B, where the development of this plutonium for those atom bombs were, has become a tour destination. I recently called this company here and had an interesting discussion with one of the employees there.
Thank you for calling Reactor Tour Headquarters. Can I help you?
Hey, my name's Spiro. I'm recording this. I live in Washington, and I had been hearing on the radio and seeing online that you guys are providing tours of the Hanford facility there.
Yeah, we provide tours for the B reactor.
Okay, so you do go check out the B reactor, and that's where they did a lot of the work for the Manhattan Project, right?
Yes.
Guys like Oppenheimer were out there working.
Yeah, that, and now we're part of the Manhattan Project National Historical Park with Park Service, so it's Hanford, Los Alamos, and Oak Ridge all together in one park.
Yeah, I see some dates here. I'm on the website right now. I see they're beginning in May, right? Just a couple weeks away. The tours.
Well, actually, the tours just started this week on Monday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so yesterday they just started.
Yes, yesterday was just Monday, wasn't it? And we're going through November. So yeah, we have offering tours Monday through Saturday.
Okay, and it says on here that the tours are for part of the cleanup part. I mean, I know that Hanford has had a lot of issues with leaks over the course of its existence.
So it sounds like you're on the Hanford Cleanup Tour webpage.
Oh, is there another? Okay.
Yeah, there's a different tour. Our office, we coordinate the B reactor tours and the pre-Manhattan historic site tours, and then there's another one which is focuses on Hanford cleanup,
Okay,
and that's
yes.
a separate tour.
Oh,
I
okay.
think it's starting in May.
Would I be able to bring my own like radiation detecting equipment just for my own kind of hobby or experiment?
No, I don't believe so. Um, that's something I've not been asked before, so
Uh-huh.
I will have to find out.
Okay.
I could take your name and number and give you a call back.
Yeah,
I have
sure.
to talk to my manager, and he's not in right now.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I can provide you my contact information.
Okay.
Um, my name is Spiro, and my number is.
Okay.
And do you guys have, radiation detecting equipment already there on site?
Well, we have a radiation, a rad tech there who does the surveys the site, the reactor before each tour. And but they don't have everything. They don't have things just out there. We don't have that.
Okay.
Because the B reactor tour is not. We don't focus on that part of it. We're
Right.
just talking about. We focus on the stories of the Manhattan Project.
So
Mm-hmm.
I had seen in the news recently that there was a leak there this weekend. It said.
Right. It was one of the tanks that had previously been that they'd known about, and it leaked a little bit more, but it's not. It doesn't affect our tours or anything. I don't know a lot about it, but
Oh,
I do know that it is something that's being managed, and there's not an issue. There's no threat to the area.
okay. Yeah, it was saying something about like 3,500 up to 3,500 gallons of contaminated waste had leaked there recently on Sunday. It was.
Right. There was something that there was a not incident. I guess an incident where it was measurably more than normal. So that's what happened over the weekend.
I have to admit, I found it extremely interesting that this leak was reported on Sunday, and the very next day the tours began there at Hanford. Now, that woman was very nice and helpful and informative, and I appreciate that. As you can see here, a study showed that Hanford workers were 11 times more likely to develop cancer, certain types of cancer, due to that toxic environment there. And it wasn't just a few people. We're talking about thousands of people who got cancer after working at this nuclear facility. In fact, they were awarded $150,000 in federal compensation for their treatment. Bottom line, there needs to be transparency and there needs to be accountability. This is a real picture from Hanford. It's an old one, but this is one of the hundreds of burial sites, as they call them, here in Washington State. And now this area is a tourist attraction. So, where's it going to end? Is Fukushima going to become the next Disneyland? I will continue to monitor this situation here in Washington, provide you guys any updates I come across, and I just may be taking a trip down there to take a look around. Till next time, this is Spiro. Thanks for watching.